Welcome back, everyone, to Game 1 tonight of Heavy League Week 3. Once again, I'm Camcom, joined by DJ. Now on the desk, SDC Death Cards taking blue side, Game 1 4 Monkeys 1 Coach taking red side. We saw the family feud. We saw Death Cards take 150 to 50 points. Now, Game 1, DJ. How's it looking?
Yeah, game one coming up between these two squads. Again, based on my prediction, what we saw in Family Feud, I do not have the highest of hopes for Four Monkeys One Coach in game one, but they do have some changes to their roster today, Cam. So is some potential for a bit of a shakeup and maybe a big improvement after a week's worth of practice to get this season going on the right track.
Yeah, and we are going straight into Game 1 drafts now. A couple of bans coming out, all these junglers.
Yeah, a couple junglers banned already. The Kane's certainly going to be a targeted ban against Four Monkeys One Coach. Jarvan has been creeping back into the meta in high elo, Cam, so not necessarily surprised to say. We also did see it, of course, on our OP list question and during the Family Feud game. So again, maybe not a surprise. And there is that Viego as well. OP as always. Varus going to be the takeaway. And one more ban for Four Monkeys One Coach will be meta, will be targeted. What is the plan as they keep looking for that second win of the season?
Yeah, I think usually teams do like to prefer those comfort champion bans rather than meta champion bans because a lot of those meta champions just aren't that picked as much in these lower elo tournaments. Yes, it's still heavy league, but this is not a challenger league, right? So not every single jungler is capable of playing Viego at a high diamond level. So you don't have to always ban Viego. Of course, we do have some Viego bans here, so Viego is a very popular
I would always ban Viego.
I would also always ban Viego, but you do see Xin Zhao made it through this ban phase, which I find very surprising. That's going to be a Lilia very early pickup.
Okay, that is an interesting one for Death Cards, but it is a comfort pick for Nukes, so that might be what is the selection going to be jungling today. Either that or the takeaway potentially from the other side of things. But that, like you said, Cam, that Xin Zhao is still up, and if I was red side, I would strongly be considering that into Lilia when you can just so easily duel against it in the early game.
Yeah, Xin Zhao, I would say Jarvan, if Jarvan wasn't banned, Trundle is still a very popular jungle. And Kha'Zix has been making a little bit more room in mid league. I'm not too sure about heavy league quite well, or as well as mid league. So Lilia, not a great matchup into Kha'Zix, as I had to learn last night in my own games. But that is going to be a Lee Sin, another one of those OP junglers that is commonly picked up here.
Yeah, the Lee Sin will function in a similar fashion to what we were hoping for with the Xin Zhao. Sure, it's not as good at skirmishing in the early game, but compared to Lilia, should still have the same kind of presence. It will dominate any sort of skirmishes. It will certainly help the 2v2 more so than Lilia will pre-6, and should give should give Shay's BF a lot of the control of the early pathing and jungle camps if he can keep up with the clear speed that comes from the deer.
Yeah, and with the clear speed comes another champion. I'm actually quite surprised that Ezreal didn't make the most OP champion list, as also Thresh locked in there as well. So I was going to say that there's not enough CC on the side of Death Cards, but of course, right after they lock a very heavy CC champion. So Thresh, Ezreal, very strong bot lane, mostly because Thresh is allowed to roam really as much as you want, following around Lilia and whoever his mid and top laner are, which, by the way, top laner could be Lilia. I think this is still the patch that Lilia is a very strong top laner.
Yeah, it can still be a top laner, but it would be a very, very specific pick. And again, this is Nukes' favorite champion, so I would be shocked to see that one head up in the top lane. We have the Leona as the answer to the Thresh. Anarchy Legend, pretty good at that Thresh, so a bit of a takeaway from him. On the side of Four Monkeys One Coach, but he will get himself a very powerful pick alongside that Ziggs, and one that certainly can roam to match the Death Warden as well. So like those final two support picks, you were mentioning, Cam, you were surprised that the Ezreal wasn't in the OP list. I was surprised as well that the Thresh wasn't, because it has been the highest presence champion in Heavy League for literally the last two splits. Like, not even close, it has been the highest presence. I'm not shocked by the Ezreal. Like, even if you took like 2 Qs from an Ezreal, that's all it took to kill you, I still feel like your response would be like, just fed Ezreal, whatever. That's how I would think about it.
Fed Ezreal, but like...
Never OP Ezreal, it's just fed Ezreal.
If you're a squishy champion, he presses WQ on you, half your HP at least, or 3/4 of your HP could just be gone. WQQ is just enough to one-shot most champions, and in my book, that's enough to call him OP for sure. And Thresh Leona is an interesting support matchup. It is very roam reliant. Neither of them really like to focus 100% on just getting their AD carry ahead. Is much more, like I said, reliant on getting vision, reliant on getting your jungler and your mid ahead. And Lee Sin versus Lilia is also much more Lee Sin-sided, I do believe, because he doesn't have to farm. He doesn't have to farm nearly as much as a Lilia does for gold. So Leona Lee Sin is going to be the roaming duo of this game.
Yeah, they should be holding hands. We'll see the R4. Looks like they'll go for the safe top laner. Is the Gnar locked in? There's not a whole lot of hard counters to Gnar. You could pick something like the Aurelia, but it does require you to execute your composition typically a little more difficult fashion. So I think all the picks that we would look to really hard counter this Gnar will be tough to play, making this a very nice R4 pick for the like 4 Monkeys 1 coach. See the final selections from SDC Death Cards, and I was gonna say I want some CC because we have the setup of the Lilia, but no real knock-up or follow-up. And okay, well, we want CC. There's the full combo that we could be looking at, Cam. The sleep into the Malphite ult, into the Yasuo ult. The sleep could even be a bonus to that combo, of course, but it is a premier setup for a guaranteed Malphite combo.
Oh yeah, that is the Wombo combo, just so strong. If you don't know what to draft, Wombo combo is like #1 top on the list. Not saying they don't know what to draft, because clearly this is a very intelligent draft right here, but still, #1 Wombo combo, Malphite, Yasuo, Lilia, and then maybe a Thresh Hook in there as well. Obviously, it's not as big as a Malphite or Yasuo, but still a lot of CC, and in these kinds of tournaments here, CC can definitely win games. Matched by a Lissandra, though, does a lot of CC for herself as well.
Lissandra does have quite a bit of CC in her kit, of course. The W itself is not great. It's very short range, but of course the prison is just going to be fantastic point and click at any point. The thing I'm worried about with the Lissandra is just damage, right, Cam? Whenever I see this Lissandra, if it's not a counter pick into LeBlanc specifically, it makes me very nervous about what the champion offers the later the game goes compared to the other mid laner. And while Yasuo himself is a very volatile champion, he is always going to be a threat with this combination. You can't really stop it as Lissandra. You're not going to be able to press that R button quickly enough unless you're preempting the combo. And you can only ult one person on your team or their team. So I don't think this really shuts down the combination, the Wombo combo that SDC Death Cards have drafted for. I just think it gives you a little bit of an easier time in lane and the ability to set up picks for yourself where you can stun, lock down, and then follow up with the Ziggs ulti over the top.
Yeah, I'm more worried about how 4 Monkeys really only has AP damage, right? Like, you have a little bit of damage from Lee Sin, you have a little bit from Gnar, but those are both very short-range champions, right? So in these, like, long-time poke battles that we're gonna have over Baron and Soul Point or any dragon, really, it's gonna be much more Death Card's favor just because of how short-range all the AD members are for 4 Monkeys, and then the AP members can be very easily bursted by this now very strong Wombo combo on Death Cards.
Yeah, I agree, Cam. I'm a little concerned about the range, right? Ziggs, of course, has a ton of range, but Gnar, Lee
Yeah.
Sin, they need to be in your
Not so
face
much.
to do damage. And a Lee Sin that is fed certainly can provide all the AD damage your composition needs. It's more of kind of one at a time than AoE, though, with the Lee Sin. But when they need to get into your face, when Lissandra's range on the Q has been consistently nerfed over the last year or so, they do really need to be within a range in which Malphite can just sort of turn at any objective, look at you and say, okay, I'm pressing R, and hope your hands are good with the flashes, because if they're not, you're gonna get comboed, you're gonna get locked up, and we're going to follow up and kill you at that point in the game. So definitely concerns team fighting for 4 Monkeys 1 coach, and I think they'll have to play it out very cleverly. They're going to need to use this R5 Lissandra, the counter pick that they've given themselves, right? All that draft capital in that final R5 slot, they need to use that to get picks before they go to objective. See if you can get particularly one of those 2 members of the combo, right? If you can get rid of the Malphite or get rid of the Yasuo, suddenly that combo around any sort of objective just becomes very, very nullified when SDC Death Cards wants to pull off a play. But again, that will require a lot of macro and a higher burden of execution than just grouping up as 5 and saying, hey, we're going to smash you.
Yeah, and it does make me a little bit worried, right? Just because of actually, DJ, do you know if Lysandra E can go through Yasuo and Will? That's not an interaction that I actually know. Because if it can, then she can just base. That is probably why they picked Lysandra. If they actually do know that specific interaction, right? Because Windwall is pretty useless if her E is able to go through. But do you know if is that how it works?
You should be able to go through Windwall with Lysandra E. I don't think that counts as a, or since you're moving your body, I don't think it blocks blinks. I'm not sure exactly what it's coded as.
Yeah, I know you can Ezreal E through it, so I think that does mean that you can probably Lysandra through it, right? But with that, we do have only a little bit more time left with Spectator Delay. DJ, who do you predict taking game one here tonight?
I did predict a 3-0, and
You
you know,
did.
it would have taken a good draft really to convince me otherwise. I do think SDC Death Cards have what they need to win this game. The combo very easy to pull off, and so long as they don't get careless and get picked off in a side lane multiple times around objectives, I think they just have an easier time going to those objectives, forcing fights, and cleaning up the enemy composition. I strongly favor them to take game one.
Yeah, I am gonna agree with you there. Very strong wombo combo, right? You land a Malphite ult, easy Yasuo. You land a Yasuo tornado, easy Malphite ult into Yasuo ult. So it's just if you get hit by either one of them, the fact that it is like a guarantee to get hit by the other one as well just makes it so terrifying to fight around any of these big objectives. And with that, we will be going to a short break here. Joining you on the Rift will be Axeman and Finnig, of course. But don't go anywhere. We will be right back with your game one tonight: Death Cards versus 4Monkeys.
Welcome one, welcome all, and welcome back to the Excellency Heavy League Week 3 matchup between SDC Death Cards and 4 Monkeys 1 Coach. My name is Finnick, joined on the desk today by the ever-lovely Axeman. On the blue side, it is SDC Death Cards. Heacher in the top lane, Nukes in the jungle, Nico Soccer 11 in the mid lane, Habibi Poppy in the AD carry position, and Pierce Blade in support.
What's up, guys? It's Axeman87, and over on the red side, a little bit of poke going through there. Here on the red side, it's 4 Monkeys 1 Coach. Top side is Fed. Jungle is Shea's boyfriend. Congrats to Shea on the boyfriend. Mid lane is Professor Hex on Lysandra, and down bot side, it's Vanilla ADC and Anarchy Legend.
Yeah, and, you know, it's interesting that we see Yasuo, that we see Lysandra, right? These aren't picks that we typically will see as like super meta, especially up in higher elos, right? But Lysandra is picked purely because it's a counter pick to the Yasuo, especially in lane. Yasuo can't really get close to the Ring of Frost. But at the same time, the team fight is extremely nasty from SDC Death Cards, and this is something that DJ and Cam were talking about in draft.
For sure, right? I mean, this matchup is Nico going in earlier. That's a big trade. And,
this doesn't run into
mobility.
I should add.
Exactly. Yeah, and then Nico taking advantage of the all-in there. But Professor X drafted a great champion here. You'll notice both mid laners have Ignite as well. It's pretty aggressive, and that's exactly how they're playing, is playing that aggressive playstyle. Yeah, Lysandra's a great matchup in the Yasuo. You have an easy way to proc his shield, so you can get that off him on cooldown. That way, all the rest of your poke, you're going through. It's a big issue in lane with Yasuo, especially like, I don't want to say like lower elo, but if you're like sub-pro, sometimes you just forget that passive and you throw an ability at him and it'll save his life, right? Oh, great play there from Pierce Blade.
Yeah, unfortunately, though, there's not too much in the way of follow-up damage, as both the bot lanes have hit that level 2 mark. Professor X now with the level 2. Should have a point in Ring of Frost, and now Nico Soccer can't actually dive into the wave here. And there we go, exactly. Gets the Ignite down, Professor Hex. Flashes away from Nico Soccer, one more auto attack, and Professor Hex gets first blood. And that's how you play the lane as Lysandra, exactly what you need to do.
Yeah, for sure. You blow Flash there. Nico Soccer actually dies with Flash up. I don't think it would have saved him, so good to keep that up for him. But yeah, Professor Hex able to flash away that last Q. I don't even think that Q would have killed him. This is a very one-sided matchup. I think you could probably outplay it. You have a lot of tools at your disposal for Yasuo, but a lot of those tools don't really come online now until further up into the game, and especially until you have items, right? Until you get those crit stats. At least in on the lane gank.
Can't quite make the Sonic Wave connect as Habibi Poppy and Pierce Blade hit level 3. Slight bit of XP soak from Shea's boyfriend actually puts the experience advantage firmly in SDC Death Cards realm in that bottom lane. Nukes shows up towards top side. We haven't really talked too much about the junglers, but Lilia with the faster clear, as you would expect for her to have over this Lee Sin. Lee Sin definitely needs to get some ganks off, needs to get some kills before he really comes online, whereas Lilia is just fine to farm up until level 6.
100%, great point. Clear is definitely what you want to be doing with the Lilia, and you can see here going for the invade on the Krugs. That's what you want to be doing too. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if Nukes doesn't go directly from these Krugs into enemy Raptors. Might look for the gank here though. That Nars won Mega, so not sure how successful this is going to be, but providing a little bit of pressure anyway. Actually, Fed might just get the double kill here. You got to be careful if you're Heacher.
Perhaps, but Shea's boyfriend makes his way bot, flash forced out of Pierce Blade, and CE Fed back in a Mininar. Won't be able to make too much happen there. Shea's boyfriend going to go ahead and invade onto the enemy Krugs as the recalls are channeled for Heacher and Nukes. Anarchy Legend going in with the Zenith Blade. The hook is a swing and a miss, and Habibi Poppy barely survives. He's got the shield from the Lantern. The Ignite goes down on the Vanilla ADC, but the flash comes in from Anarchy Legend. And Pierce Blade still picks up the kill, but Shea's boyfriend is around. Sonic Wave swing and a miss, though. And Habibi Poppy's got to be careful. The ward pop, and he's able to get the kill. It's 1-4-1, but it's ADC for support in the bot lane. Advantage goes to 4 Monkeys 1 Coach.
I was just about to make the points. Unfortunate, Nukes used that tempo up top side to put that pressure down on Fed. Not only does Fed come out of that play with higher CS and more pressure in that lane, but Nukes loses all that time and loses a big potential CS lead. Shea's boyfriend, meanwhile, picks up the CS that they needed down bot side, is able to have a successful gank. And now all of a sudden, both junglers back on even footing. And yeah, it just comes down to so you don't want to be ganking a Gnar as soon as he goes Mega.
No, you definitely don't, but Nukes is a strong player. Professor Hex can tank it down to 300 health. Dash in from the Osmo. Can't quite make it stick. Nico Soccer picks up the solo kill as Nukes makes his way mid lane. Anarchy Legend here as well. Damage coming in from the Lilia. The flash forward from Nico Soccer into the dash. Double kill for this Yasuo, and now Anarchy Legend play back out of the way. Triple kill for Nico Soccer 11.
No! Oh,
Oh,
that's like
the
worst case
fancy
scenario.
footwork. Hex a little bit too quick on the Ring of Frost means that it doesn't dissuade the actual dive from Nico Soccer, and beautiful triple kill.
That was fantastic there. Hopefully we get the replay. Just wow,
ultimate
Ether.
death, what? The CE fed, and the W auto. No need for help from Nukes and Pierce Blade. And SDC now have a firm lead in the game just after 2 plays.
Yeah, I don't even think Pierce Blade and Nukes got assist for that one. Yeah, let's take a look at this replay here. Shay's boyfriend just walks up into this lane, and Nico Soccer. I'm not 100% this is the right replay, but not sure about that. Anyway, just take a look back at live here. The Dragon going down to red side. Monkey's going to pick up that first one. They've generated a lot of pressure around the bottom side of the map with Shay's boyfriend. Despite losing that mid lane fight to Nico Soccer.
They are able to the ultimate down onto BB Poppy. And then LADC picks up the kill. That's the power of that Glacial Tomb being used to the full effect of Professor Hex. Still down about a level on Nico Soccer though, as this will be plates for Vanilla ADC and Anarchy Legend down bottom.
Yeah, you like to see it there, and here we go. They're going to get a couple plates off of that one. 2 actually. Nukes, meanwhile, on the invade, keeping up the pressure on Shay's boyfriend, making sure they're not getting anywhere near both their junglers. And taking a look at this mid lane fight, Nico's boyfriend, low on health, just got the kill down. Professor X back in, gets that kill onto Lee Sin, and somehow picks this one off of Anarchy Legend there too. By the way, just the dagger at that point in the game on the Yasuo, he had nothing, was making do with just the one item. So just a fantastic play all around from Nico Soccer. And as you see, he comes back in to this lane with the Berserkers and with the Hearthbound Axe. And all of a sudden, this Yasuo is looking really, really nice, right? The only thing, the only timer you're looking for at this point from the Yasuo is some additional crit, getting the crit going. Ooh, the knock-up.
Yeah, that's a little bit unfortunate. Taking a look at this XP graph, though, we can see leading the charge is Nico Soccer 11 on that Yasuo pick. Doing very well for himself, followed by Heater, actually. So he's been able to force this Gnar into a weaker matchup than perhaps the Gnar actually wanted to take here.
Interesting stuff, for sure. And you know Nico got most of that experience off of that triple kill there mid. You can take a look at the live CS. It's actually down a little bit to Professor Hex as that wave pushes out from him there. He's taking a look up top side now. Might be looking for Fed. He's going to walk over the ward, though, so nothing comes with that top side, but little nature walk there for Nico Soccer.
See Fed and Heater, though. I mean, we didn't really mention this Malphite pick. It is a very decent pick into Gnar and most other bruiser top lanes. Going for that Arcane Comment gets you the extra harass plus the Mana Flow Band mana. Nukes makes his way bot, but I don't think this gank's really going to turn into much. Might find Vanilla ADC. He goes drowsy. They got the sleep. And then the dunk for the Lilia. The flag goes down. And Vanilla ADC barely survives enough to get the ultimate, but Habibi Poppy still picks up the kill. Pierce Blade gets Anarchy Legend in the meantime. Shay's BF goes down. Nukes goes golden. Pierce Blade gets the hook onto the Lee Sin, into the play. Shay's BF flashing forward. Nukes able to flash away, and Habibi Poppy able to get the kill with the assist. As Nukes ends up barely surviving. That's 3-4-0 in the bot lane for SDC death cards.
Thin margins there for the death cards, but a little unlucky for Shay's boyfriend. Maybe we'll give him that one, but we'll fight mid lane breaks out. But yeah, Habibi Poppy getting massive so far, right? It's unfortunate Pierce Blade took a couple of those kills. That first one earlier on, and then this one, but you know, you keep it in the family, right? You keep it down in the bot lane, and that is normally enough for a bot lane to start really scaling up, right? That's what you're looking for from this Ezreal, is that scaling. And for a champion like Ziggs that's meant to accelerate the pace of the game, it's fallen behind a little bit.
Ooh, Professor X. Here comes the dive into the Oswald. Professor X able to get the Glacial Prison onto herself as Nico Soccer goes down to the shot. It's 2 for 0, but it will be traded back by Nukes. Unfortunately, though, Pierce Blade didn't take any damage from Professor Hex, so it's only counted as a 1 for 1.
Yeah, gets the execute off there. It's pretty cheeky, but that was a sick hook too there, Fennec. That was so nice. Yeah. One thing you wanted to talk about as well is that Heacher. Oh, here we go. Speaking of Heacher.
And damage on a Shaze BF does have the unstoppable force, decides to use it. Nukes on a killing spree. Anarchy Legend not long for the world either, trying to kite back under tower. Gets a stun onto the 2 members, but Heater's just going to tank this up. Let Nukes do the damage. Anarchy Legend should go down. Mega Inferno Bomb, though, does not get anything for it. Nukes goes golden with his own News Hourglass, and it's 2 for 0 mid lane.
And he walks out. That was a nuts dive, Finnick. That was so cool. I didn't think he was going to tank that last turret shot. I thought it was going to kill him. And then he lived. He dodged
Nukes.
The lantern. That was such a sick play, Finnick. Oh my god. That was awesome.
Very good dive, very good use of trading aggro, using that Zonia's timing. It was a first item Zonia's Hourglass for Nukes, by the way. Not opting to get that mythic item, as she also has the Predator boots. 4-0-4 is Nukes on this Lilia, having a very good game for himself. Shaze BF looking to start up the second dragon. We didn't really talk about bot lane prio. This one's almost always going to be in favor of the Ziggs lane, which is what we're seeing here. This leaves this neutral objective open to them, and it's good that they're securing the first 2 dragons, because otherwise I don't think they have a way into this mid game.
For sure. 4 monkeys with first move after that mid lane play, but...
Oh, Nukes goes in. Red team still gets the dragon, so they will keep that objective as a BB Poppy tries to get damage on the Shaze BF, and Anarchy Legend goes down. They get the Oswald ultimate on Professor X as Professor Hex falls. Shaze BF, ward hops over the wall. It's 2 for 0, but perhaps a little bit more. CE Fed dives onto Nukes, gets chunked out quite a bit by Heacher, and Nico Soccer goes mega against the ult against the wall, gets the shutdown onto Nukes as he's traded by Nico Soccer. Now it's a 3 for 1 in the bottom lane. SDC death cards do not get the objective, but they do come out ahead in gold, and Heacher wants Shaze BF. Warm tops over the flash E from Heacher to secure the kill.
Good stuff there, and if you're wondering why Fed kind of went they're trying to get Nukes, Nukes had a massive shutdown on him, right? It was 407. I would call that pretty worth going 1 for 1 to kill Nukes, to put Nukes in the ground, and that's exactly what Fed did. Used, I believe, teleport, flash, and the ult to do it, but hey, you got to do what you got to do, and you shut down the Lilia there. Should be looking to shut down Heacher here as well. That 400 gold shutdown would be pretty nice. Something I've been trying to say for a while is that Heacher drafts Malphite works great with the Yasuo. Right? Big knockup, hard to dodge, essentially point and click. You get easy backline access, and it's something that you can use to knock up the enemy team and allow Yasuo to ult on top of you, which is a sick combo. We've seen the Yasuo ult in combination with Death Sentence so far, but not yet with the Malphite ult, I don't think. Gonna ult over the wall there. Go, Nukes sweeping up the vision here, looking for Rift Herald now. Just way out in front, right? Went for, got shut down earlier, but still way out in front. And really, that's the story of this game so far, is that death cards have been totally dominant. I called this 3-0. I'm not sure, Finnick, what did you call this series? Think we might have lost Finnick, but gotcha. Let's go back and look at this dragon fight here real quick. Yeah, both teams positioning around it. It was 4 monkeys that got first move on this play. They were able to do that because the mid lane fight earlier went the other way, so they all got back on the map faster. Unfortunately, first move on objective does not mean you get to stay alive here. They do get that dragon though, and that's good enough, right? Topside Rift Herald's taken by Nukes. Immediately drop topside for first turret, I think. No, they actually got mid lane turret first. Here's the engage. Anarchy Legend in onto Nukes there, just gets absolutely blown up. Yikes. That doesn't feel too good. There was no shutdown gold available on Nukes, but once again, 4-1 and 7 previously before that death. You definitely want to put this champion in the ground as much as possible there, and that's what they're going to do, try and pick off that Lily as much as possible. And fortunately for them, it's a little easier than normal because Nukes is playing up so far. Playing up really far in the team fight, also just on a macro level, invading really often, going for the enemy jungle camps to try and stay ahead, and that puts them in vulnerable positions more often than not. Abini trying to defend this mid lane. See if he can do it. Yeah, it doesn't look like they're too interested in pushing in that mid lane turret for right now. Gold lead is 5K between these two teams. It's quite the gap. Quite the gap for 16 minutes. Take a look at this gold graph real quick. Going through for you. Yeah, that is the mountain that 4 monkeys have to climb right now. It is quite the peak. I do not envy them having to climb up that one, but thank you for that. Maker might have Finnick back. Still not getting Finnick, so we're gonna keep trucking on here, but Pierce Blade looking for the hook, does not find it. Shay's boyfriend finds a shock wave? Something like that. Over the wall here. Not gonna follow through with that one though. The map control is slowly just starting to go the way of death cards thus far. It doesn't seem like 4 monkeys, 1 coach can stay out, can reach out that far into their jungle. They won't be able to get this 3rd dragon. It's up in 15 seconds, but they may try and fight for it. You see him 5 stacked here in the mid lane. Might go for that rotation, and Pierce Blade for the hook goes wide.
A little bit, yeah. Heater still has the ultimate available to him, though. We'll see if he's able to make the move. Tornado, swing and a miss. CE fed over the wall as the dragon is started. Now they get the hook onto CE fed. They drop the box, but they don't get too much. Malphite open onto 2 members. And the Leona follow-up is not there. There is no follow-up, in fact, from the side of SDC Death Cards, and this is given a great opportunity for the side of 4 monkeys, 1 coach to go in. They've already traded 1 for 1 as Pierce Blade gets the hook onto Chase BF. They're trying to turn this one around onto Heater. Heater goes down to 400 health, falls down low, goes down to the Ziggs as Nukes tries to clean up the fight on Anarchy Legend. He gets the kill. It's a 2-4-3, and 4 monkeys, 1 coach. They're looking for more. Professor X might be in a little bit of trouble from BB Poppy. There's a lot of damage from this Ezreal, but Chase BF gets Nukes. Now with BB Poppy, last member of his team alive, goes down. Wow! For 4 monkeys, 1 coach.
So they do drop that dragon Finnick, but they end up winning a massive fight. Spanning several minutes there, and a little bit of traction now from 4 monkeys, 1 coach that we haven't really seen so far in this game. And they've made up quite the deficit here. Just down 3 gold now. Here's the replay. It was fed, goes Mega, tries to walk around this corner on vision, nailed by the death sentence. Bakht comes out, and there's Heater from the side. Great engage there from the Heach. There's no follow-up on that knockup though, and to be honest, Finnick, I would chalk up that situation with 4 monkeys taking this fight just to that. There's no follow-up there on Heater's ultimate.
Yeah, that gave the go buttons over to the sides of 4 monkeys, 1 coach. Professor Hacks and Vanilla ADC surviving through that fight for so long. And Vanilla ADC, for 1-5 on the Ziggs, now is a threat in its own right. Sitting on 2 items, has the anti-healing in that Oblivion Orb. Not exactly sure who that's for, as there isn't a lot of inherent healing on the enemy team. Nico Soccer does have Conqueror, but there's no healing in his kit. Maybe he's just like, oh, I have 900 gold to spend. CE fed and Nico Soccer. Fed flashes out of the way. Here comes Pierce Blade. He's able to get the play onto CE fed. Into the box we go. And Nico Soccer gets the ultimate on Chase BF.
Oh, yeah.
And the TPs are coming. They got the Solar Flare only on 1 member, though. As the double kill goes over to Nico Soccer. Professor X goes golden as Anarchy Legend tries to go back in. They got the Mega Inferno Bomb onto 2 members. But that is a dead mid laner. That is a dead Ziggs and a dead Anarchy Legend. It is 5-for-1, and SDC Death Cards are right back in driver's seat.
Finnick, that fight was not close. That's a massive combo there, and a nice knock-up, nice ultimate from Nico Soccer wins them that fight handily. They're going to get 1 turret. They might get another one here too. Finnick looking for the inhib. See what else they can get here as they're pushing in the mid lane here too. Pierce Blade and Habibi looking for that third turret. I don't think they ended up getting the inhib, but that's still quite the play for them. And they're closing in now on 4Monkeys Coach Finnick. This might be over relatively soon.
Indeed. SDC Death Cards currently up about 7,500 gold over 4Monkeys 1 Coach. They only have 1 neutral to their name. Look at this gold graph. And look at the swing around that fight. This could have been 4Monkeys 1 Coach game.
It could, yeah. That could have been the turning point for them. Unfortunately, it spiked right back up. The gold between these two teams now back up to, geez, I think that's like 7K or something. I'm not really sure. I'm bad at math, but yeah, I think 7K. Yeah, that's right? Yeah, I can do math. I can do math on stream. Massive. Went from 5 to 3, back up to 7, and 4Monkeys 1 Coach in dire straits now. They have a couple things still working in their favor, Finnick. They got Vanilla ADC, who is absolutely stacked, does a ton of damage, especially does a ton of damage to Heacher, who is inherently stacking armor, right? So that's a good thing for them. Heacher does have the Force of Nature, has the Merc Treads as well, so he's not necessarily getting shredded or anything like that, but he's taking quite a bit of damage. Is going to be the Death Cards starting up the Baron.
And they should be able to get this one uncontested. Chase BF nowhere near this objective. The Baron going over to SEC Death Cards. They just have to make the death march towards the enemy base. We'll see if 4Monkeys 1 Coach can take a little snapshot. The engage isn't perfect. Teacher dives onto the back line, but the follow-up's not there. Professor X stays alive. Goes golden through the use of the Lysandra ultimate, but now Professor X has to go golden once again. Ends up falling to Nico Soccer 11. And unfortunately for Professor X, did not have enough time between the Frozen Tomb and the Donu's Hourglass to make his escape.
Pierce Blade over the wall with the Hex Slash. Gonna go wide, just barely though. And they are starting to put them in the headlock.
Getting boomerangs in. They have the Baron minions pushing in onto the space. Want to take the inhib, but decide not to risk it quite yet. They have about 2 minutes left on this Baron buff. And a 2,500 gold Baron power play to their name.
You know, you can take the inhibs. It's just pre-20 it's not good to take the inhibs. We're at 23 minutes, you can take them. Go ahead and take those inhibs. Looking for the dragon instead. This is their second Mountain Dragon 2, making them a little bit tankier. Nico Soccer.
Unfortunately, there is no steal from the Ziggs. The Ezreal ult throws true. Shot barrage onto Chase. BF Anarchy Legend trying to dodge out of the way. Once they do get a kill onto Nukes. Anarchy Legend down to 300 health. Heater on the side. Does not have unstoppable force. Now he does. Gets a 2-man ultimate. The damage already came through from the Lysandra. And BB Poppy trying to get Vanilla ADC on the side of the fight, but it's in a 1v1 scenario. And they take each other out. CE Fed ults another one against the wall, and it's an ace for 3. And 4Monkeys 1 Coach are still in this game.
Finnick, what is happening? It's an 8K gold differential between these two teams, and 4Monkeys are still finding ways to win these team fights. It's Fed and Hax left alive with the ace, picking up all 5 enemy members there. They lose another dragon, but win the team fight, and they're going to get this mid lane turret, a much needed injection of gold into their team that has just been starving for gold this whole game long. We'll see what they finish up from the shop here as they take the reset.
That's a lot of gold on Nico Soccer, 12K, but Vanilla ADC is only 1K behind. And this is very important. 7-3 and 8 on the Ziggs. Has completed 3 items, although my inner LS does not like the Morellonomicon option this time around. So take a look at this Dragon replay.
Here's the replay for you. Mountain Drag goes down. Big ult from Nico. Not going to get the kill, actually, as Nukes picks that up. Big damage. Big Finnick from Vanilla ADC. That Ziggs is nuts right now. Habibi finds out the hard way. They actually trade 1-for-1 with each other, but I mean, being able to trade with an Ezreal that's this fed at this stage in the game like that, Fed finishes him off there with the last shot there onto Pierce Blade. But it was just a very well played team fight there from 4Monkeys 1 Coach, and an inefficient one, I'll go ahead and say, from the Death Guards. A lot of resources used that perhaps shouldn't have been used the way they were. I don't think ulting Anarchy Legend while they're out of position like that, or Shay's boyfriend when they're out of position like that, is necessarily worth it. I think you might want to hold on to that.
Hey, Axe, can you explain to me why there's so much heal cut when there are no inherent healers on either team other than, I guess, Lissandra?
So what I'm going to say is that champions like... I don't think this is going to matter. Okay, like Nico Soccer, like Nukes, have a lot of healing built into both their runes and the builds they have. So you have the Yasuo who's got the Imperial Shield Bow. Oh, here we go.
Anarchy Legend with the Yasuo ultimate. Moonwall in. Here comes the ult from Heacher, but it's not nearly enough. They only get one kill with it. The hook lands onto another member. It's CE Fed as Nico Soccer dives into the back line, unable to get anything much as Vanilla ADC is the last member of his team alive, and the rest of SDC will clean up the fight. Vanilla ADC picks up Heacher, but it's a triple for Habibi Poppy, and SDC Death Guards go up 1-0 in the series.
I didn't think they would pull the trigger like that, Finnick, I'll be honest, and they just barely got away with it, right? I mean, check out these health bars. These are some pretty low health bars, and they almost lost that fight again to 4 Monkeys, 1 coach. And what I will say about this team, about 4 Monkeys, is that no one has done more with less, right? They're at a huge gold deficit and just taking these team fight after team fight. And we're actually playing really well. I don't even know if this is going to be the end of the game. You got a couple Monkeys coming up pretty soon. Oh, they're going to have to back off.
Yeah, they grabbed 2 inhibs and both towers. Unfortunately, they won't end the game quite yet. 1 minute left on the next Mountain Drake and 47 seconds on Baron. I would assume they go for that Baron objective, as there are no souls on the table.
There are none. I don't think we're going to see still this game. Might see a couple more Mountain Dragons stacked up for both teams, which are fairly impactful at this stage of the game, getting those resistances stacked up. And yeah, the point you're making about heal cut, in the runes, for Lilia, we know she has Predator. I imagine she also has Taste of Blood. Probably also has, oh god, Ravenous Hunter in there too. Might also have healing runes in precision secondaries. I'm not 100% about that, but what I do know is that Lilia heals a lot when she has any Omnivamp or any kind of healing built onto her, because she does so much.
But she doesn't have Omnivamp. Like, look at
I don't
this.
think she does. No, I think she just has Ravenous Hunter and Taste of Blood.
Like, there's a little bit of healing on the Yasuo with the Wit's End and the Immortal Shield Bow, but like, it's two Morellonomicons. Maybe you need an Oblivion Orb, but I'm LS molding right now, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's a little strange. It's a little strange. I definitely, like, I never have a problem with heal cut, but yeah, finishing the Morels is a little weird. It's definitely for Yasuo for the shield bow, but
see, Fed gonna die pretty easily. This feature picks up the kill credit there. Professor X dives in, gets the Frozen Tomb onto 1 member, but unfortunately, Professor Hex goes down. Will be 1 for 1 there as the Ezreal falls. They're onto the Nexus. There is no way to stop this from happening. Anarchy Legend trying to dive back in, but the damage is too much as Nico Soccer picks up the kill. Vanilla ADC next to fall, and this time for real, SDC take game 1.
They do. A little bit closer than maybe we thought it would be, but they do win game 1.
They do. It was a little bit closer than I think we thought it would be.
Yeah.
I think a lot of this comes down to SEC Death Cards had a comp that relied on a Wombo combo, but they didn't absolutely need to execute on the Wombo combo every single fight. They didn't execute on the Wombo combo once, except for that pick at the very end. Most of the time, it was the Thresh that actually comboed into the Yasuo ultimate. They really kind of separated those two, and those gave the advantages, or those disparate points in the combo gave the ability for 4 Monkeys, 1 coach to find the occasional fight or two. So maybe a little bit more communication from SDC Death Cards could make their fight or their game even cleaner.
Yeah, I would agree with that. This is definitely a static draft for the Death Cards, something they've been practicing, and you could see a couple of those times Heacher hit them with the ultimate, and just like you said, there was unfortunately no follow-up there. I think that might have been at least in part because a couple times Heacher was out of range from the Yasuo when he was doing it. I'm pretty sure the Yasuo ult has a little bit of like a max range to it, and I think that might have been the issue a little bit as well. Might have been a communication thing too, a couple times there. But regardless, you made the point. Nico Sakura had a triple kill at like 5 minutes in this game. It was never going to be a great game for Monkeys One coach, but this is probably best case scenario for them after that triple kill on the Yasuo. I would say this is probably the best game they could have played in that situation.
That's all the time we have for now. When we return the desk with DJ and Camcom, you won't want to go anywhere. Be right back after this.